Hey, good afternoon. Brian Willett here. You know, this morning I was on the phone with a guy that was asking me about taking one of our courses in Dale Carnegie, and I was sharing with this individual, about the course and everything. And he tells me he wants to make a career change. He's been in his industry for about 15 years, very successful, real high level, vice president, and he wants to make a career change. And I don't know if it's just the time of the year, it's, beginning of the year. I talk to a lot of people that are looking to make a career change. And maybe you're one of those people looking to make a career change. And so, so often a lot of people want to make a career change. And just like this guy today, what happens is in his business, he gets a bonus. So he gets about mid-year and he's not hitting his numbers. And he says, I need to find something new. I need to find something new. And then what happens is the year turns around, and he gets stuck, right? He gets stuck, and I call it the golden handcuffs. And so that happens to a lot of us. We get stuck in our job because we need the money, which is fine. We all do. And so how do you successfully make a career change? And let me just tell you, I've done it. I made a career change. I tell people it was 10 years in the making, 3 years real strategic in the making, where I put in a lot of work. And so I'm going to give you three ways today on how to make a career change. Okay, so the first thing I tell everybody, if you know me at all, is the first thing you got to do is you got to go out and get the information, right? You got to figure out what it is. If you think you know what you want to do, you got to go out and you got to find the information. That means you gotta go and get the books, buy the books on whatever it is that you're looking to get into. And once you start reading the books, get a baseline of knowledge. Then my advice is go spend some more money, a little bit more money, and maybe attend some conferences or some seminars. Get the information. Now maybe it's something that you're already somewhat familiar with, and you already have a baseline of knowledge, and that's good.
Police reported ahead.
But there goes my Waze app. I love my Waze app. But anyway, that's the first thing. If you want to make a career change, you got to figure out what it is you want to do. Go find the right information by buying the books, putting in the time, putting in the effort, then attending some conferences, some seminars, whatever you can do to get more information, more knowledge about that industry. Now, once you do that, the second thing I tell everybody to do is now you got to go interview some people. Go interview some people that are in that business. This particular guy, he tells me today, just so happens that he thinks he wants to be in the training business. He's been in the banking business for 15, 20 years, very successful. And he's like, I think I can add some value by providing some training to other people. And so I said, well, you're starting, what I would recommend the first step, which is, asking someone who's in the training business, how do you get in the training business? And so we started talking. Well, the first thing I asked him, I said, have you wrote anything down? If I ask you, what are the 10 things to make me a successful banker, what would those 10 things be? And he's like, well, I got an answer to that. And I said, well, what is it? Well, he couldn't tell me because he's never written it down. And so that's the second thing I tell people is you got to start putting some information down. But let's stick with interviewing. Let's pretend you're not in the industry that you're wanting to go into. You got to start interviewing people that are in that industry. Reach out to people on LinkedIn. A lot of people are willing to give you the time and the effort if you reach out to them. You say, hey, look, I'm thinking about getting into this business. I'd be curious if I could just sit down and pick your brain to tell me a little bit about how you've been successful in this business. So that's the second thing I do. So first thing we want to do is go out and get new information, read the books, attend the conferences. Once we have a baseline of knowledge and we can speak intelligently about whatever it is that we're wanting to get into industry-wise, then you need to go out and reach out to some people and, start interviewing them. The third thing is, how can you find some opportunities to do it part-time, right? A lot of us don't want to jump into something full-time right out of the gate. And so the third thing I tell everybody is, what are those opportunities out there that you can go ahead and start pursuing them maybe part-time. You know, getting your feet wet, sticking your toes in the water a little bit, and getting some experience doing whatever it is that you're looking to do, okay? And, you know, maybe through a nonprofit organization, through your church, maybe through your connections, maybe working with an association that represents the industry that you want to go into. Those are some ways that you can start sticking your feet into that business, to, you know, whatever that industry is that you're wanting to get into, and start finding out if this is the right industry for you. And so let's kind of recap here. The first thing is you got to go out and find the books, get the information, right? Once you get the information, read some books. You know, the bottom line is if you dedicate at least 1 hour a day reading or devoted to some topic, and you make a commitment to do that at least 1 hour a day, within a year, you have an equivalent of about 2 years worth of college on that particular subject. So go out and get the books. Once you do that, attend some conferences. The second thing you want to do to make a career change is start interviewing people that are in that business. That is just so important. Reach out to people. People are willing to help others. Reach out to them. The third thing is how can you start doing whatever it is you want to do, you know, maybe part-time. So reaching out to associations that represent the industry you want to be in, or can you do it on your own part-time, or reaching out and just looking for maybe a nonprofit or a church where you can start implementing some of the things you look to do. So those are 3 ways to make a career change. Again, it's not a overnight event. You're not going to do it overnight, especially like the guy I was talking with today. He's a senior vice president of a company. You know, he's got the golden handcuffs on, right? He's committed to the money. And the bottom line is he's not real committed to making a change, or at least he hasn't been committed up until this point.
Watch out, vehicle stop, shoulder ahead.
He hasn't been committed up until this point because he hasn't started working on it. And so you could take those 3 nuggets of wisdom I gave you and start applying them. But really, the 4th thing that's really first is how committed are you to making a career change? Because until you make that commitment and say, I am willing to do whatever it takes to make a career change, you're never going to make it, okay? Because you're never going to put in the time, okay? You're never going to put in the time to make the career change. And then the second thing, not only does it require time, most likely it's going to require money, okay? And then if you're not willing to invest the time, most likely you're not going to be willing to invest the money that it's going to take for you to successfully make a career change. And like I told you, this has been 10 years in the making for me when I made a career change, but 3 years of dedicated working for free, working on the weekends, spending time working on a craft, okay, to be able to successfully make a career change, okay? But I was committed to making a career change. I knew that the industry that I was in was not long-term. And so that's my advice for you, okay? And you're making a career change, the first thing is get the information, attend the seminars, read the books. Second thing is interview other professionals that are in the industry that you want to get into. The third thing is to start doing it free. Start doing it whatever industry you're looking to get into, maybe through a nonprofit or a church. But the first thing out of all that, you got to make a commitment and say, how much am I willing to invest my time and my money? How committed am I to making this career change? And so that's my advice for today. Again, I started this off by telling my audience that this week I've had so many people come up to me and say, you know, I'm looking to make a career change. How do I do it? And so I just thought I'd shoot this video. Maybe you're one of those people out there looking to make a career change and you just don't know how to do it. And so if you are one of those people, reach out to me, hit me up on Facebook, comment here on this live feed, and I'm looking forward to helping you. Please share this video with others that you think could find value in it. Make it a great day. Hope your 2017 is off to a great start.